it's interesting too because this question of trust to me, let me know if I'm biased. But this question of trust, I think, becomes an issue after colonialism. Because you had in the past, and this is my culture, your culture, everywhere, all the way from what we're now calling to Nigeria to what we're now calling Mali. They had this system. I'll use this example where if I'm selling goods, let's say I'm selling mangoes, right? I can take my mangoes, lay a blanket on the street on the ground near the road, and I'll put my mangoes down and I'll walk away. I can walk away for 2-3 days. Somebody that wants the mangoes will see my mangoes, take a mango, leave the money there, and continue going their way. I come back 2 days later, the money is waiting for me there, right? And I'm using this example because this is very universal throughout Africa, especially West Africa. I'm using this example to show you that in the time that these systems were built, people's approach to community and honesty were far different than they are now, right? I think colonialism and a few things before colonialism eroded that particular thing. But the Odibo system survived even through this eroding two ways. One, as you probably know, the opinion of family is sacred in African culture, right? The opinion of family is sacred in African culture. It's very hard to do something in African culture that betrays the family entirely, right? And not paying the person after the Odibo is one of those things. But what actually the concrete, the thing that held the thing together was in the past, and a lot of families that aren't Christian, they use this concept called swearing awful. They use a concept called swearing awful, where the two people engaged will make a pact, a sacred pact, by swearing on an item known as the awful. And awful is like a staff that's passed down from ancestor to ancestor to ancestor, then passed to your father, then passed to you. So one of the rules we have about the awful, and I call it rule, but it's really just an understanding. One of the understandings we have about the awful is that if you're holding the awful, you can't lie. You do not lie while holding the awful, right? There are natural consequences that come from lying while holding the awful, and no living person will do the consequence to you. It'll just happen. And so when a person uses the awful, it's very rare that a person will swear awful. But if a person swears awful, it is our indigenous way of, let's call it, making a contract between two people, making a bond between two people. Okay. And so for the non-Christian families, swearing awful is still a normal way of conducting the Odibo system.